UIC.
Freedom the people of need.
Hell yeah.
Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah, yeah. Freedom the people of want. Freedom the people of need. Yeah,
Yeah. Real man a road. Now bow out in no tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road. UIC when you see man a road, me say yeah. Real man a road. Now bow out in no tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road. UIC when you see man a road. Ready for broke every chain. The one that free up the people, levitate. Jamaica member, you ever great. I feel burn up the fire upon every snake. Me give thanks in every way. God still a look down once see we safe. UIC run the road long time. GLP and PMP I sell we out. Till I do the test even though we know the end result. If them coulda kill with them catch we and hang we know. No force no coercion, me freedom in a step. No one fi rob we and kill we and feel them I go make it out. You know see the leeches, you know see the hands of the devil when sleep with. You know see the leeches, you know see the hands of the devil when sleep with. Yeah, real man a road. Now bow out in no tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road. UIC when you see man a road, me say yeah. Real man a road. Now bow out in no tree grand a road. Now bow down to no demon a road. UIC when you see man a road. Yeah, me drop the braffin now, and then I laughing now. What them talking about? Everything cement and we not talking growth. Jamaican intellectuals are marching now. Them couldn't get the last laugh, no them laughing loud. We don't need the small talk when we talking, bro. We don't need them $5 grand, we need to part them now. Long time GLP and PMP I sell we out. Till I do the test even though we know the end result. If them coulda kill with them catch we and hang we know. No force no coercion, me freedom in a step. No one fi rob we and kill we and feel them I go make it out. You know see the leeches, you know see the hands of the devil when sleep with. You know see the leeches, you know see the.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Joseph Patterson here, president of UIC Jamaica, live to talk with DJ Turtle. So I'm waiting for him to come on. He's going to be on Instagram, and I'm going to be here with you and them. So I'm going to be looking from here and up as well. But welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining in. We're going to have a discussion. Well, he's going to ask most of the questions, right? And we'll hear from him as to what. I hope you can hear me. So let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I'm not using my regular mic today, so I'm just going straight through the computer. See if I can avoid some of the problems we've been having the last few connections. But good evening. I see DD on and JMH. Thank you, Sylvester. Appreciate that. Let me see if I can connect with the gentleman now. I'm not. Let me just take this down here and see if I can connect with him. Hold on a second. I'm not seeing him live, so it says the live has ended. So let me call him and see what's going on. Just a second. Let me see. What I was saying to you, right? Oops, here we go. Yeah, thank you, Joe P. Good to see you. Let me see if I can hear from Mr. DJ Turtle. It's the first time I'm going to be talking with him, so I'm not quite familiar with. Let me see here. Yes, my good friend, Mr. DJ. Are you live yet? Oh, okay, because I was trying to connect, but it was telling me the live has ended. So, all right, go back on. All right, no problem. To type something. The UIC, yeah, man. Well, all right, no problem. I'll do my best. Thank you so much. Take care. Wonderful. All right, so that was DJ Turtle. He's going to start up his live now, and then I'm going to connect with him. In the meantime, feel free to get ready with any thoughts or questions you want to share. and I will be happy to try and take them. So yesterday we had our special AMC. That's our annual members congress, where myself and a number of others were elected or re-elected to serve for another 2 years on the UIC's executive. Um, Proud to announce that we got a, what do you call it now, unanimous decision, a landslide. They call it 100% of the votes were in favor. Um, so I'm happy to be able to serve as president again for another 2 years. Somebody wrote me today, and they were saying, let me see if I can get on Instagram here. Hold on, where is this thing? Here we go. Let me try this now. Let's hope it works. Yeah, it keeps saying the live has ended, so I don't know what to do. It says live video ended, so I can't connect with him if he's not live. So I don't know. Yeah, keep saying live has ended. Let me start over and see if I can get him going here. The technology doesn't always work the way we want it to work. Let me see here. Oh, it says he's live. Let's see. Let's see.
Now the new party people.
All right.
UIC Jamaica, a new party formula Jamaica, and
You're hearing it,
by
right?
the end of the day, they're gonna be over here and
Whoops. What just happened there?
with the country moving forward.
Okay, can you type for me UIC Jamaica is in the house?
Representing for the flag Jamaica.
I'm having a
as I
hard
said,
time.
people,
All right, so you're hearing
Jamaica,
DJ Turtle in the background. Oh, by the way, look at this. I have my new armband. So the UIC now has armbands out. So get your armband if you want one.
I know the PMP is orange.
I see Cool Guy is asking, can we have a show that is dedicated to just Q&A? Definitely, Cool Guy. We plan to
UIC, and by the end of the day,
we plan to here we go. So I'm now live with him. All right. So here we go. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. And how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. So you're seeing my screen right now where I'm on the live with our friends on UIC Liberty TV, and I'm also on your live, which is good. So we're going to try to do this together. Hope you don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind, but the only thing I would say, if you can position the phone properly, that you don't not move up too.
So here I'm going to just put you here. There you go. So now you can see me very clearly, right?
Yeah, I can see you good.
Excellent, excellent.
Going forward, my name is DJ Turtle, one of the credit boss who send credit fast, raise cash at times, and give back to the community. And you know that we help the 14 parish in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I realized that you are the owner of UIC, that is a party in Jamaica, just like we have PMP and JLP, right? Correct?
No, you're not correct. I'm not the owner. I'm just the president.
Okay, you're the president.
And I'm the founder. So the owners of the UIC are the people of Jamaica. So,
okay, so
yeah.
I like that. I like you correct me.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. But by the end of the day, you are the
president and the founder.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say to you now, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are gonna see a lot of stuff in the comment section. That's number one, right?
No problem.
You do not have to reply to them as yet, right?
Yeah.
Some gonna be positive, some gonna be negative. But if you're looking in the comment section, you only can highlight the positive and keep on scrolling through, right? Makes sense?
Yeah, man, no problem at all. And forgive me if I'm looking up and down. I'm looking down at my screen here for my supporters down here on Liberty TV, and I'm looking up at you on my phone. So I'm going to be looking up and down. You're up, and my fellow associates and members and supporters over here are down at the moment.
That's no problem. It's all about technology, so the whole world can see and understand what is taking place. So introduce yourself the perfect way to the person who who on my life today,
Yes.
Credit Boss Live, and also streaming all the way out of Montserrat in the Caribbean country as well, CARICOM country. And people, I can say I'm going to add people, so I see the request start to come in. I cannot add the open yet people because I know that we have a lot of questions to ask. But the gentleman have to introduce himself properly. Go ahead.
Yes. So my name is Joseph Patterson, and I am the president and founder of the United Independence Congress of Jamaica, which for short we call UIC Jamaica. The UIC was formed, started to be formed in 2012, and over time became a fully registered political party on the 7th of December 2019. The UIC is a very unique party because we're more of a Congress. That's why we're called UIC and not UIP. And as a Congress, we invite Jamaicans to think in terms of being independent thinkers. So United Independence Congress. We want Jamaicans to stop thinking partisan, stop being divided by the old colonial system, and come together as a family, as one people, one nation. And so we want to unite the Jamaican people, and we want to empower the Jamaican people, and we want to make sure we have a government that is a true republic, not a fake republic like Barbados or Guyana or one of those, but a true republic where we get rid of colonialism altogether and we empower the Jamaican people by respecting their sovereignty and giving them a safe, clean, and orderly country where every single Jamaican can live, earn, and retire with dignity in their own country and in liberty.
Okay, so people, as you can see here, what happened, UIC Jamaica is in the house. So what I can say, meanwhile, people, if you have any question to ask, you can ask it, you can send your request. I guess that I will see, you want to know how the platform actually works, right? And most of the time, my audience, they are Jamaicans, but they live overseas.
Yes, yes.
Shane, I have audience that live in Jamaica because you know that I give away credits and homeless. One person get assistance on this platform. You can do your research and you can see that it's lots of greatness we do exactly on this platform. Sometimes we have a time when look ups and down and look fighting and all those things take place, but it's part of life. We're human beings. We can't do about that. So if someone want to even come on, so I'm gonna add this person. Are you willing to answer, right?
Sorry, say that again.
You willing to answer any question?
Yeah, man. Any question. We're very open.
Right?
We're very open. Any questions at all, free to ask.
What I can say to you, right, people, who we have on the screen, soon to be our next Prime Minister for Jamaica. And what I can say to you, my friend, right? I wish I can even take up my phone and call Andrew Wallace and have him on the live just like this. And even the next person on the opposition. So say that to say this. I want to say about that when you turn the next Prime Minister, you can go around and you can even come back on my platform and go on other people's platform and do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because what I can see, when it comes to politicians, when they get elected, they do not remember the people. They don't remember how to fat up their pocket, and that's just it.
Yes.
We're not playing any more game or any more hide and seek or so with politicians.
Yeah.
But we would call it politics. Understand?
Yes.
Are kids, right? But that
no,
is
you are. Listen, right? You are totally right. For 78 years, our people have experienced exactly what you have spoken about. Politicians engaged in politics, spending 5 years or 4 to 5 years tricking the people and then asking them to be re-elected. So the UIC is here to change that system. 78 years of failure is too long. It's time for us now to turn the corner, turn over a new leaf. And we cannot turn over a new leaf by re-electing those that have failed us for 78 years.
So, I want to highlight something. People, I'm going to add it just now, but I have to open up the air a little bit.
Yes.
I'm going to ask the next question, right? how much person in this party, when I say how much person in this party, just like I guess it's 60 in 2 persons supposed to even run for election, something like that.
Yes, yes.
How much member in your party that is gonna be a minister?
Yes. So just to make sure your audience fully understand how the political process works here. So Jamaica has a parliament which has 63 members. So the maximum number of MPs is 63. That's in the what you call now the central government level. Now below the central government, you have what is called local government. And local government has 228 councillor positions. The UIC will be competing in all 63 of the general MP candidates positions and all 228 at the local government level. We're currently in the process of recruiting. At our last count, we had about 105 of the 228 for the local elections. And for the MP sections, we have about 25 at the moment. Normally, the winning party has anywhere between 30 to 45 of the seats. The UIC is committed to making sure that in the next election, we win 45 of a minimum of 45 of the general seats and a minimum of 200 in the local elections. We're working very hard right now to recruit the best possible candidates to join us on the ticket so that we can take Jamaica out of its colonial melee and into a new, well-developed Jamaica where every single citizen can actually enjoy a decent standard of living.
I want to ask the next question going forward before I start at people. I like to open the door very wide that people can really understand what is actually here taking place.
Mm-hmm.
So how long now this party form? How long now this party form?
So we became official from a registered standpoint, because again, let me give you some history. Since the first election in 1944 until now, which is 78 years, there have never really been any rules for political parties. They decided to put some rules in place, some very structured rules in place in 2018. Those rules, in my opinion at least, were meant to eliminate third parties from the equation. And it was successful. It eliminated all the other third parties. So you only had 2 parties in Jamaica, and those 2 parties were the ones that we have always known. I call them the colonial parties because they were sanctioned and allowed to mushroom and develop by the colonial masters, while they simultaneously got rid of the Marcus Garvey Party, which was the true People's Party back in the 1930s. Now, the UIC, even though we were registered as a non-profit in 2015 and was operating and building ourselves from then, in 2019, after 10 months of fighting with the Electoral Commission of Jamaica because they tried to prevent us, we fought with them for 10 long months, and on December 7th, 2019, we became the official 3rd registered party of Jamaica. A monumental task, a major feat, and I'm so proud of all our members, all 1,300 members who helped us to get there.
And for clarity, how much years now? Like when I say how much years now?
Yes. So
for actually get signed in, how much years?
So in terms of being registered, it's from 2019. So 2020, 2021, and now 22. So basically, call it 2 years and what? 3 months, roughly.
Okay, no problem. And what else I want to ask you? You know that everything is on the internet. That's number one.
Yes.
And you're talking about 3 years now.
Yes.
We have TVJ, we have CVM,
yes.
We have RJR, we have lots more radio. We never hear of your party, we never hear anything.
Yes.
What happened? Oh, you don't get a broadcast.
Yes.
Give us some more views on that.
Sure, absolutely.
So I can understand what
Absolutely. So the UIC has been a few times on the major network. So when I was arrested on September 22nd, 2021, when I led that demonstration to protect our freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and freedom of choice, because of the government's draconian measures. When I was locked up, all the news network carried that. And they said how I led a campaign and how the campaign was chaotic and how I was arrested. So they carried the bad news, so to speak. If there's ever anything that is ridiculous or foolish, they will come to us about that if they want to create a situation. But they do not, on a matter of principle, they do not come to the UIC and carry anything. We recently had our elections, they didn't carry that. We put out our policy positions, they didn't carry that. There are major questions in the country about topical issues, they never consult us, never get a comment from us on any of the issues, but they do that for both of the other parties. Why do they do that? The reason they do that is because what people don't understand in Jamaica, when you vote for one or the two parties, what you're really voting for is the elites of the PSOJ of Jamaica, the private sector organization of Jamaica, the elites of that body. They're the ones who fund the two major parties. And so because they fund the two major parties and also own the media in Jamaica, it ensures that they can decide who the people of Jamaica will see or hear from. And so the PSOJ, that powerful body that funds and controls the two major parties, they have made sure that the people of Jamaica don't generally hear about the UIC, do not hear our position on any issue, do not carry our affairs unless it's something negative. So if it's a negative issue, they will kind of put it in somewhere so people can hear a negative. But they do not, on a general basis, they do not carry the UIC. And because of that, many Jamaicans have still not heard about us. But the good news is many other Jamaicans have heard. So some may not have heard and many haven't heard, but there are lots who have also heard. They have heard on our channel, UIC Liberty TV. They have heard about us on Facebook. They've heard about us on Twitter. And now they're hearing from us here on Instagram and so on. So we continue to try to use other means to get to the Jamaican people. But it is the studied purpose of the PSOJ, and I'm calling them out by name because they are the ones who fund the political parties. They also run the debates commission, and they've left us off. In the last election that was coming up, they announced only two parties will be on the debate stage, and they completely disregarded the existence of the UIC. CVM does the same thing, TVJ does the same thing, the radio stations generally do the same thing, and it's a concerted effort to deny the Jamaican people access to an alternative to the two parties that have consistently, year after year after year, failed the Jamaican people, and they want to continue to deny the Jamaican, even though the Prime Minister is busy announcing one after the other of our policies, which they have taken. They have studied our 10-point plan, they have studied our manifesto, and now they're busy kind of reshaping them a little bit, using a little bit of different words here and there. But what they're doing is trying to kill the UIC by taking away our talking points, taking away our message, even talking about republic. They talk about they're going to do republic. We have been calling for that forever, saying Jamaica needs to be a republic, but not just any republic. Jamaica has to be a true republic, not a fake republic, a true republic. And a true republic is one that sees and accepts and makes permanent in law that every single citizen of Jamaica is sovereign and not some government or some queen or some other authoritarian figure. The truth is, unless we change course from these two parties, Jamaica will never get out from under the colonial masters.
Okay, that's nice. I was going to ask you if Jamaica is independent just now, but it seems like you answered that question in that little statement just now. What I can say now going forward, a lot of requests is coming in, and I'm going to add people. They're going to ask questions. I don't know the question they're going to ask, but I guess that the question they're going to ask is all about Jamaica. And the next thing what I can say going forward, people come on the live, they only have 5 minutes, and that's just it. Going forward, there's a lot of people is over here. And people, if you want to come on, just send in a request. And please remember, it is clean. And you guys know the live run. And from the simple as in the face now, when most of go. Okay, so I'm adding someone now at this time.
No problem.
Hello? Hello, sir. Hello, sir. How are you doing? I'm all right. Okay, what's your name? You know, I'm winning, man. I'll tell you. If the big come like Michael Mann in Jamaica, you will run the country. Pick up that knowledge.
Well, I'm not sure what the question is, but I can assure you that the same love that Michael Manley had for Jamaica is the same love I have for Jamaica. I believe Michael Manley wanted to end poverty, and I have designed a system and policies that will end poverty in Jamaica and empower the Jamaican people.
Well, Michael Manley don't run politics, he run Jamaica.
Yes.
Michael Manley don't run politics. He work for the people in Jamaica. He don't run politics. He work for the people in Jamaica. They give you money to do farming. They give you money to do everything in Jamaica. Michael Manley don't run politics. He means that you name his comrades. Comrade mean unity. And we're calling it from like who you talking of? That's why we look by you. Michael Manley don't run politics. He mean unity.
Yes, thank you.
Where you calling in from? Where in the world? Go off with that. I'm talking to you. No. You're on a public live. Lots of people is over here. And I'm actually adjusting you properly. So I guess you're supposed to adjust me properly, please and thanks. You know, I'm talking to you. I tell you one thing okay, so what I can say now at this time now, I'm going to remove your live. Thank you very much for coming on and give you 5 cents. Yeah.
All right. So the gentleman there was bringing up a point, I guess, about what he liked about 1 second, about Michael Manley. When I think about Michael Manley, what I think about is the fact that it was very clear that he cared about the poor people of this country. He wanted to ensure that the poor in Jamaica was better off. At the time that he came into office, he saw a Jamaica where more and more wealth was being concentrated in the hands of a few, while the vast majority were being left out. And so I think he attempted to fix the problem, but what he didn't understand is you can't keep the same system and fix the problem. The system of Jamaica is wrong. The system of Jamaica is colonial. The very constitution that we have was given to us by the colonial masters. They engineered it for our defeat, for our destruction. And unfortunately, from 1944 to now, the leaders of those two parties, the leadership of those two parties, continued to implement a colonial system on the people of Jamaica, even keeping a white woman from England as head of our country, which made absolutely no sense. And they have kept that in place now for 60 years. How can you, saying that you're a free country, an independent country, and keep a white woman from England as your head of state for 60 years? It tells me that those two parties could not mean us any good to continue to mentally enslave us with such an arrangement. I'm not hearing you. I don't know what happened. I'm not hearing you. Yeah, I'm not hearing you anymore. Okay, yeah. I can't hear. Okay. Yes.
They represent the blue color people. You know, blue is my favorite color. So, you know.
Okay, so I'm trying to log back in.
Slide down your screen and bring it back up.
All right, I can hear now. Can you hear me?
Just turn your camera back.
Oh, my camera.
Please.
My camera is
Turn
off.
off your camera.
Okay, what happened to my camera here now? All right.
Look right at the front. You see a circle,
Uh-huh.
like an arrow. That is what you press. Spin it back around.
Okay, I see. I'm showing you like somewhere outside in the yard, I guess. There we go.
Yeah, yes, that's perfect.
All
so
right.
actually,
Yeah.
someone on the live as well.
Okay, good.
I do not know what she's gonna ask you. My friend, you have 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm aware of what you're saying. You're saying you want approximately 20 certain amount of seats. I find that that's a very ambitious projection, but I'm hoping for well. But what I wanted to ask you was, what is your plan for educating the young people about politics, not even politics, about what it is that they need to do in order to move forward, or what it is that you have planned for them, or how you plan to educate them on how moving forward
Right.
from this colonialism, because this is all they know.
Yeah.
I can speak I can speak like we grow up, you have PNP, your family are PNP, so you vote PNP. Your family are GLP, so you vote GLP.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we going to educate the new generation in not doing that, in picking a government that is good for them, that is there to help them have a better future? How are you planning to educate them? Because they need to be educated. They don't know, and you have a whole voting, a massive amount of voting people there within that age group, the young age group, 18 to maybe 25 or even 35. How do you plan to educate them? Because all them know is GLP and PNP.
Yeah. Well, I must tell you that we're a little bit better off than you think. In the last three elections, Jamaicans have been staying away from the poll, especially young people. In the last three elections, we went from about 48% didn't vote to 52% didn't vote to now 63% didn't vote. So a lot of Jamaicans are turned off from politics. They're not tuned in anymore. They don't want to hear anything about politics. And so the good thing is that's a good sign, because what it means is that they have matured mentally to realize that voting for JLP or PNP is literally a waste of time. So that position is now cemented in the mind. Now what we have to do is to help them now to understand that while you're correct that voting PNP or GLP is a waste of time, not voting for a third option means you're still going to be stuck with the two waste of time running a country. So if you want to have a different Jamaica, now you have to look at an alternative. And that's why I've spent the last 10 years working to create this alternative for the young people, for the Jamaican people. And so we're now
how do you plan to win our trust, sir? How do you plan to make us trust you?
Right.
Because so many have messed us up before. How are you going to make us trust you?
Right. So right now, what I've done, what the UIC has been doing, is we have been educating. People call us the education party. If you go on UIC Liberty TV right now and click on any one of our videos, it's an educational video. We explain to you how the current system works, how that system is robbing you, how that system destroyed our people, and how the continuation of that system will make sure that Jamaica becomes worse than Haiti. So we have explained the system to you. And then what we have done is to explain to you the alternative. So we have spent the time to design a new system, a system with proper checks and balances between the legislative branch and the judicial branch and the executive branch. We have shown you how we're going to ensure that Jamaica becomes an anti-corrupt country. We've explained how we're going to address the crime problem from the top down instead of the bottom up, how we're going to build the economy from the bottom up instead of following the top-down, trickle-down model that we have now. So we have outlined clearly in 10 major points how we're going to fix this country. And we have also, on our website, written a clear manifesto. Most political parties bring out a manifesto 2 weeks before election or 1 week before election to trick you. We post our manifesto on our website from January to December every year. And if we make any changes, you see those changes. So we're not trying to play politics with you. We're ensuring that Jamaicans have a clear choice, one that they can fully digest and understand. Our principles, our policies, our values, our mission, our vision is very clear. The other two parties have no vision and no mission. Their only purpose is to win elections and have control of our tax coffers so that they can enrich a few at the expense of the many. Our policies and programs are designed to enrich the many by getting rid of those persons who are using corruption and all other forms of means to extract the wealth of Jamaican people. We're going to make sure that the system is so designed that they no longer, those in the PSOJ elite, those in the banking cartel, those in the global elite, we're going to change the system so that they are no longer able to manipulate and oppress and depress the Jamaican people by using our own laws against us, using our own economy against us, even our banks they have used to rob us. And we're going to stop that.
Can I ask you another question before I go, Turtle? One
Sure.
more question before I go. I heard you mention the idea of a Republic Jamaica.
Yes.
How do you plan to incorporate that with the Maroon government?
Oh, very good question. So my position on the Maroon is very simple. I believe it's very important that we have dialogue and that we do research and analysis and better understand the history of the Maroons. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of people don't understand the true history of the Maroons. The Jamaican people don't, because our education system was not designed for us to even understand ourselves, let alone understand the Maroons and understand the history of Jamaica in the context of the world. So the UIC is going to change our education system to fix that. But outside of that, we want a deeper study into the origins and the claims and regions where the Maroons have stated that they have a particular jurisdiction and rights. Whatever the history tells us, the true history and the analysis, that's what we must uphold. However, when we do find this out, you may find that because of the time, some boundaries cannot be fully given back to the Maroons because you now have people living in all kind of areas. But what we can do is enter into some form of negotiations and identify an appropriate middle ground between the whole Jamaica and the Maroons and ensure that their sovereignty is respected and protected. In the same vein, we must also respect the history of the Rastafarians and give them back what has been taken away from them. Their territories, the pinnacle that they have developed and was taken away from them by the colonial parties. We want to restore that, give back the Rastafari and their heritage, give them back their space, and respect them enough to ensure that Jamaica is so designed that they can enjoy their culture to the fullest. All Jamaicans, every single Jamaican, must be fully respected and given the freedom, the latitude to live the kind of lifestyle that they want to live, provided they do not use force or fraud to take what belongs to anybody else.
I thank you very much for taking the time to answer my question. I wish you all the luck and blessings in the world. And I look forward to seeing and hearing more from you.
Thank you so much. Same to you, my dear. All the best.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming on the live and ask him a few questions. Please remember, anyone else want to come on the live, you can send your request and you can join the live and you can ask any question. Most people wondering who is on the live and what this is all about. Well, it's all about UIC Jamaica is in the house, and people wondering like, what are you talking about, Circle? Please remember, just like we have PMP and JLP, that is a party in Jamaica. I don't know, said JLP is green and actually PMP is orange. So UIC is blue. And what I can say, people, it is all about change. Nothing is wrong with change. And the next thing what I can say going forward, I realize that when question come to you, you have the answer, and you're not looking on a sheet or even on a paper and answer in the question. And by the end of the day, by answering them, they sound so perfect, they sound so nice. But I hope that when you be the next Prime Minister for Jamaica, as I said, I hope you take the same time out and be on my life, whether win or lose, or even other personal life, once it is very respectable, because by the end of the day, it do not make sense that a lot of nice in the classroom, people not gonna hear what is going on properly. So we do not want that. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, man,
so,
totally. Respect.
I want to ask you the next question. Meanwhile, other person is coming on the line. Where are you? where you from in Jamaica?
Yes.
Where do you born in Jamaica?
Sure. So I was born in August 2nd, 1971, in downtown Kingston, in a place called Beeston Street, Blake Road area, downtown, the rough of Kingston, to a single mother of three. We lived in a little room about 12 by 12, no internal bathrooms, no kitchen, just one straight box. My mother, my brother, and sister were older than me, so we were born there. And then, you know, I grew up poor for the most part, and failed common entrance like most, well, some Jamaicans, failed technical entrance. I went to, I then ran away from home. I went to live with my father, who was more affluent. He was richer. He was a master electrician. Some also from the poorer side, but he managed to build himself up. And while I was living with him around, 11, 12, 13, I went to Spanish Town Secondary, where I did electrical installation. And I really did well in school. I figured out what was wrong and changed my thinking. And I got a special scholarship to go to St. Andrew Technical High School, where I did well. I was head boy at both of those schools, and student council president, quiz team captain. I won the school challenge quiz. I was the captain for the team. And then after finishing stats, I got a full scholarship to go to UTech, where I studied engineering. And then I left and taught at Kingston Technical High School, which is down on Hanover Street there in Kingston. There I taught physics, engineering, science, and mathematics before joining the sugar company as an engineer. After which I got married to my grade 8 sweetheart, Charlotte. We got married when we were 23 years old. And we've been married now for almost 28 years. We have 3 children. I migrated to Canada after we got married. I went there. I worked. I didn't have a job for about 6 months. I had to struggle to figure things out. Worked in a restaurant, worked my way up to becoming a chartered accountant, a CPA, VP of Finance for the school board in Toronto, Director of Finance in the government of Canada for one of the territories. And then I returned to Jamaica in 2011 with my family. And, I was really depressed with what I saw happening. And so after about a year and a half, I started working on putting in place a new system. And from then, 2012 until now, I've been working on this movement to make sure we can give Jamaica good governance, a government that is for the people, of the people, and by the people, as opposed to a government which works against the people.
Well, that is brilliant. You actually explain most of your life story. I guess that few things that you said, I was listening a meeting by our Prime Minister that elected now in power. And he actually said something similar like that, like you raise up in XYZ, he come from a poor place and you raise up with the grandma and then come back around and he switch back the thought. I hope that you be careful what you're saying because technology, social media can make it look like a tie, right? But back to the conversation. What I want to say to you going forward, how do you look at society in Jamaica, especially with dancehall music?
Oh, well, dancehall, well, in any society, right, what people need to understand, every society is expressed in the music of that society. So if you have a society which is base and debased, the music is going to reflect that. So for example, if you look in the 60s and the 70s, the struggles that they had then is what you saw coming out in the music. And that's how you create a Bob Marley. That's how you create a Peter Tosh. That's how you create, as you come down the line, you get a Buju, you get a Sanchez, and so on. You come down the line, you get a Chronics, and so on. So all of these artists, they're really reflecting some segment of society. And so what you're hearing now in dancehall music is reflecting how the society has evolved. If we want to have better music, then we need better leadership. We need a Jamaica that brings out the best in our people. The vision statement of the UIC is a Jamaica that brings out the best in its people. The current system that we have right now, the current system that these two parties have maintained for 78 years, that system that they have maintained brings out the worst in our people. It divides us into tribes, two tribes fighting for scarce benefits and spoils. It encourages a corrupt mindset. The very top coming down encourages corruption until corruption becomes endemic, becomes a part of the fabric and nature of Jamaica. Our police force is corrupt. Our teachers are corrupted. Our nursing, our hospital, our government agencies, everything thrives on some form of corruption. The teacher can't just teach and elevate. She have to think about how to hustle on the side to make something work. The police officer can't just be a police officer that's a part of the community that works with the people. You have to hustle on the side, even become a killer, become a contract killer. This is the kind of society that bad leadership and the corrupt colonial system of politics has created. So we know if we want to change dancehall music, it's not enough to say, let's ban this or ban that. I don't want to ban anybody. What I want to do is to create an environment that brings out the best in people so that they can now sing good songs. They can talk a good talk. They can walk a good walk. And they can live a life of morality, a life of ethics, a life that makes them proud of who they are. I don't believe anybody involved in corruption at the lower levels want their children to know that they're involved in corruption. They want to be able to tell their children that, look, mommy and daddy has lived an upstanding life, and that's why we're enjoying the quality home and the car and the nice yard and the vacation and your education. If we don't fix the problems, we can't just put band-aid on them by trying to ban certain kind of music. Don't ban the music, ban bad governance.
What I can say that make a lot of sense to where he break it down just now. But what I always try to understand and try to observe is it just like when you're talking very nice and sweet and perfect. We hear a lot of that from politicians and actual leaders, right? And when they actually get elected, we are wondering if when they get elected, I will just put it in this way. I was on this platform last night and a young guy, I guess he is 25, I'm not telling a lie.
Yeah.
He do music as well, right? And he was showing me something like I think a giraffe, I guess.
Yeah.
And he was like, the small soldier, them would be like the puppet, right?
Yeah.
And the politician them as well would be like the puppet, but they don't act like they're the puppet. They act like they are the king.
Yes, yes.
But which you have a higher level than them, right?
Yes.
That is the king. So I guess that as a reference, you get in power, you talk all these perfect, nice things to us. Wishing we say, oh my God, that's what we want for Jamaica. We like that. Then after we set up now and get you elected now, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you win, you start, we not even hear from you, we not even see you over on television, security tight. Then anyway, you know maybe reach out because Jamaica is independent, right? So put it this way. The Queen still respond to Jamaica even if you get elected. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then you call the Queen and say, we need to sort out this for Jamaica, we need to do that, we need to do that. Yeah. And the Queen, maybe I look for you now. Not directly the Queen, but
yes. Yeah, her representative, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So the Queen and say, what happened to you, fool? You want the trip to come to England?
Yeah.
To come back and relax. You want to bring your family?
Yes.
Don't worry yourself. How much money do you want? Don't worry about those. Just think about you're good. You want extra security.
Mm-hmm. You
can get extra security.
Yeah.
And then that just brainwash your head. And then you forgot the people, but deep inside it a burn your dwelling.
Yeah.
But you have to put it down and say, oh, I get through yourself, people.
Yes.
But you still try to play a little bit of pretty face.
Yes.
So say this, say that. I would say, changing a party, that means the option do not change that written or put down. Yeah, you understand what I mean? You want me to break it down?
No, man, I fully, before you go any further, hold on. I'm glad what you're saying because it means you are a thinking young man.
Someone said in the request, so when you finish,
yes.
Add that person.
Yes. I want to first of all acknowledge something very important here. I am hoping that every young person is thinking like you. That they're thinking that, listen, we can't afford to make them politician in a trick way again. Now, I want you to look at why you might want to trust me. Think about it. I am a professional who returned to Jamaica having lived in Canada for a number of years successfully. I have returned to Jamaica, which would have been my easiest path. Joining these well-established, well-primed, top-of-the-line tricksters, or trying to form what is almost impossible, a third party, which we know not getting the funding from the private sector organization, not going to get the support from the global elites because them don't want this kind of knowledge to come to the Jamaican people, and will be putting his life at risk, his family at risk, and his own income and safety at risk. Do you want to trust that person, or do you want to trust a nice, well dressed up lady who joined one of the two parties, or a nice Rastafarian who joined one of the two parties and find the easy way, the easy route to getting access to power and money and control of our government, as opposed to trusting someone who has taken the impossible path, where you know, say, it can't be for my benefit, because my benefit, the easiest benefit for me would have been to join PNP or GLP. I tell you this, if I had joined either of them, I would be a minister of government right now. I would have been one of, I would be one of them. Yeah, I would be in one of their positions right now, giving you big talk, saying all kind of foolishness that the colonial masters tell me to say, and getting their money and building my big house and driving my big car and sending my kids off to school somewhere in the stratosphere and fooling you up. But instead, I have put my life, my family, my income on the line because I want to see a Jamaica that is safer than Canada, cleaner than Canada, and one that is more productive than any other Caribbean nation on the planet. In fact, my standard for Jamaica is no less than Singapore. And Singapore started out just as poor as Jamaica, and now they're some 400 times richer than us today because of good leadership. And I'm going to make sure that Jamaica gets that good leadership, but not just good leadership. You want it to have a good system, that it doesn't matter who the next leader is, because the system is set to protect the interest of the Jamaican people.
Well, I'm not, a couple people sending the request. I'm not telling you any lie, right? You say some stuff just now, right? You let the hammer right on it nail and it connect. Because people, by just, not because it's on the live now, I'm going to be pretending. If a person go to college and a person study, or a person come out of school and they get the degree, and then they do the research, it is so easy, but true, to go and join a party. And this knowledge, and this attitude, and this behavior, and this plan that this gentleman is giving we, right? It's so easy to join them. But at the same time, now, him look on it in this way. It will benefit him, yes, and him family, but it will benefit the people for Jamaica 100%. Yeah. When they have his own party, then it can be a perfect relationship. And people may wonder, like, Turk, really? Yes, really. By the way, I'm joining someone else on the live. Please remember, I normally join one person because I can't buy with the debating thing. Yeah. No, you guys know I work, right? Yeah. Hello, what's up? Good night. What's your name, Machine? No, this is a professional show, yeah. And where are you checking in from? Where are you? Okay, so you know that two party is in Jamaica, PMP and Labour right? You ever come across a next party by the name of UIC? Okay, you heard about them. Okay, so this is actually the gentleman that gonna lead the party, right? And actually, you can ask him any question you want to ask him, and he's willing to answer all of them. I don't think most, all of them.
All of them.
So
Everything,
say say this. You only have 5 minutes. Go ahead.
I'm not hearing him.
No, 1 minute. I'm gonna disconnect your audio back.
Okay.
Yeah. I want you to see the person, and that you come out 100% polite, and because sure. I was seeing you just now, and anyone else want to come on the live, you can send in your request. Please remember, it's about DJ Turtle, one of the credit boss who send credit fast, raise cash, and give back to the community at times, and you all know that, right? And please remember, today is a day that I guess that people need to share the life, because this is very important, because it's all about peace and unity and love. Well, that person is not back on the live, so someone else did send a request, so I'm going to recruit that person to let the person in. Oh, he's on the live. Okay, I was moving too fast, and I was wondering, and my name is Turkey. Yeah, you're back. Yeah, we can see. You can see we. Oh my God, and I want you to see the other scripts. I'm going to disconnect you 1 minute. I'm going to add you back.
All right, so to my viewers here on UIC Jamaica Liberty TV Live, just want to let you know that I'm talking with DJ Turtle, the gentleman who gives away free credits to help those who are in need. So I'm on his live on Instagram up here. Oh, sorry, I'll go back now, but listening. Yes, sir, go ahead. Oh, it looked like we have some freezing situation here. Some people are freezing. But yeah, but I'm here having a little talk with him, about the UIC and what we hope to do for Jamaica. And at the same time, I have you on here. So you see me looking up, is because I'm looking up at him. Yeah? Go ahead, sir. All right. Yeah, go ahead, man. Ask your question, please. Yeah, they're freezing up on the other end. So he's trying to bring in a few more persons to ask questions. But thanks to all of you who are here on the UIC Liberty TV Live. It says the live video has ended. I think he's having some difficulties. Hopefully, I'll just try to rejoin him. Just a second. Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, you got disconnected?
No. I lock off the live. I'm going to come on back. What I want you to do,
yes,
I want you to restart your phone. Restart the phone quick. I'm going to go back live.
No problem.
Restart the phone.
Yeah, man. We'll do.
Yeah,
good. Okay, so let me restart the phone here so that, because I think we're freezing up on the other side. So I'm going to restart right now. And then I'm going to rejoin his live so we can continue the conversation. Please do send in your own thoughts as you're watching to let me know what you think. It's a pity we don't get any time on the regular radio and television to communicate with the Jamaican people. But if you share the live with all your friends and family, and even your enemies. Get them to know that there's an alternative for Jamaica, and they can be a part of it by tuning into UIC Liberty TV, and also joining us on Facebook. Just look for UIC Jamaica anywhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're around in those areas. So I'm going to go back on Instagram here. See if I can find the gentleman on the live. Here we go. So it is Credit Boss. Here we go. Yeah. So he's not back on yet. So as soon as he gets on, yes, Winston Hammond, we need to have a completely new system. We cannot continue with the existing system, and I can assure you that Andrew Holness and the GLP, together with Mark Golden and the PNP, they're concocting a plan right now to trick the Jamaican people into accepting a fake republic. All they're going to do is remove the Queen and get rid of the title of Governor General and change it to President, but still keep the same destructive colonial system in place that will rob you of your
country, raise cash at times and give back to.
So I'm back on the live now. Let's see if we can get this up and going.
Big up all Caribbean people, that's number one.
Good.
And please remember you have PMP in Jamaica and you have JLP in Jamaica.
Here.
And please remember new parties in Jamaica now, people. That is UIC. So I want you people to get used to it, okay? And he's back, so I'm gonna add it. Just now something was wrong with it, so you know that I have to restart the line. Please remember it's all about process now. Yeah, we are processing the line. Yeah. So big up to my article fans and big up to my unarticle fans who was on
live. All right, so here we are.
Good. Oh, right by the information so I've been back there, yeah. So
okay, all right, no problem. 1 second, let me write this in.
No problem. Everybody's back in the house. All the comments.
Here we go.
No, don't write it in. Oh, you write it in that way. I was one that you wanted to write the next way back, yeah.
I'm sorry. What way do you want me to write?
I think they write it like UIC.
Okay, let me try this. UIC Jamaica is in the house. There you go.
Yeah, that's perfect. So I realized that DJ, something was sending me the request, but I want to add by the gentleman first and get this out of the way.
So here we go. Just putting it back in.
Yes, Magic, what's up? Yeah, you see, everything is good now, right?
All right.
Everything is good.
Wonderful.
Okay, so you can proceed now. Go ahead with the first time. You have 5 minutes.
Okay. So first, I just want to say afternoon, Mr. Joseph Patterson.
Good afternoon.
So what I really want to ask is, because we've seen where musicians like myself have been used by politicians whenever it's convenient to them when it comes to election time. What I want to know is, what would you be doing for the entertainment sector of Jamaica?
Right. Well, the goal of the UIC is to completely liberate the Jamaican people, including those in the entertainment sector. And what do we mean by liberate? Right now, the regulations in Jamaica are designed to stifle the Jamaican people while giving special preferences to certain class of Jamaicans, certain connected Jamaicans, and persons who come into Jamaica like, I don't want to mention any group, whether Chinese or whatever. Jamaica generally, our leadership is generally a sellout leadership. They sell out the country to anybody, to the highest bidder, and they make regulations designed to suppress the people. So for example, banking regulations, it's designed to suppress the small man from making any form of financial arrangement that would benefit him, and channel it to the banks, the big banks, and give them control over our assets, over our economy. The same thing is done in the hotel industry, where they lock out the Jamaican people from being able to offer quality products from even their homes, and they concentrate it into all-inclusive getaways, which are owned a lot of the time by foreigners or by high-collar Jamaican or high-connected Jamaicans, right? So we, the UIC, is going to completely mash up the system there. We're going to open up the entire country, the entire economy for all the Jamaican people. We're going to make sure that there's no regulation which suppress the small man and the micro enterprises or protect big business from small business. We want to open up the competition. We want to allow Jamaicans to get access to technology without the high importation costs so they can build their own industries locally and compete with foreign interests by being able to export. If you have to import at high cost to manufacture here, then it means that you cannot compete with outside forces because they're getting access to that technology outside at cheaper price and they can beat you. So whether it's entertainer or small manufacturer or tourist industry, we are going to open up the system so that the poorest of Jamaican with an idea, with a skill, with some form of talent can make it because the country is now designed to help him to make it as opposed to being designed to lock him out. Right now, those 63 politicians we have in parliament, they spend their time passing laws and regulations and bills to prevent the average Jamaican from being successful while opening the gate for their friends and company and connected few from outside the country and inside the country. And we have to stop that now.
Okay. But so we have seen where this country has a lot of outsiders who has ties in the country. So what I want to know is that how are we sure that these objectives will be met when you get this role as a prime minister? As if, because like I said to Turkey yesterday, a lot of these politicians are basically pawn. I was the guy that made that reference, which I was referencing chess. I was referencing the chess game, and I see where we are looking up to leaders who are just as puppets, used as puppets as the rest of us, as pawns. So what I want to know is, let's say that you're put in a position where the elites around you are giving you certain orders. What I want to know is, how do you go about meeting certain objective and going around their orders, because there's going to be I would call like two different forces, so to speak. Because you say this now, at the end of the day, you're reaching at the position and possibly giving you the benefit of the doubt. You probably mean your words, well, when you're reaching at a position, you have to do otherwise because of the orders that you have to take.
Yeah, man, I understand. I get it. Let me explain to you what's happening here. You are correct that the typical politician, in fact, all 63 politicians in the parliament right now, all 21 senators, all 228 councillors right now are pawns, which is why some people could come here and buy them and tell them to force us to take a particular injection because they're pawns. And the reason they're pawns is that their entire structure, the political structure, is built on them being pawns, which is why the UIC is not asking you to elect us to simply try to govern within that system. We want you to elect us to get rid of that system. Let me show you what we're going to do in the new system. In the new system, right now in the old system, for you to get elected, you have to go to the private sector elite and beg them some money, and they put money in your election. And so because of that now, you get more face time with the people, and the people learn to vote for you because the big elites tell them that. Right now, Jamaicans don't have a democracy. They think they're voting for one or the other. No, the elites own both parties. The PSOJ elites and the global elites own the two parties. And so what they do is just give them some money, equal money, to play games and gimmicks with us. And we think we're voting for one or the other when what we're voting for is the PSOJ of Jamaica, right? And so when we vote, we're voting for them. Now, the UIC is saying, let's get rid of that system. Let's make sure that campaign financing is now 100% publicly funded. So whether you're poor or you're rich, you get the same access to TV, the same access to radio, the same access to internet, the same access to town hall meetings, the same access to debate. So rich or poor, you are no longer disadvantaged by your financial position because the system is now 100% publicly funded. That's one. Two, let's make sure that we no longer have appointed senators where the two party leaders decide who they want to put in the Senate. Let's have a direct election for senators, one for each parish, so they look out for the parish. A number of other changes like that we want to do. But watch me, the most important change, the UIC is not funded by the elites, it's funded by you. Ordinary Jamaicans sending $10 US, $5 US, $25, $50, $100, $1,000 Jamaican, or so on. We are funded 100% by ordinary Jamaicans here at home and in the diaspora. We will not take any money from any of the private sector elites unless they openly sign to our policies and procedures, which will ensure Jamaica is fully liberated from them and from the crown. Jamaica must move away from being controlled by a small elite and by being controlled by the global elites and being under the colonial masters in Britain and otherwise. We must get rid of that system. So a vote for the UIC is a vote to dismantle colonialism, to dismantle partisan politics, and to make Jamaica the one true free republic in the world. That's what you're voting for. And that's why I don't have to worry about them manipulating me, because it's not me they're going to have to manipulate. They'll have to manipulate the entire Jamaican people, because the system would have been changed and they can't just come to one man, because the system now makes it impossible for one man to override the will of the Jamaican people.
But question, suppose the people then before you have signed contracts, what are you going to do to eliminate that?
Very good question. So for example, we have signed as a country a number of international treaties and that kind of stuff, right? But all of these treaties are based on the principle that they're supposed to be the reflection of the will of the people. Now, you and I know that's not true, but they have that in their vault saying it's supposed to be the will of the people, and then they trick the people to get the will of the people to be in line with their will. So when you elect the UIC, we have your vote to say that we are speaking on behalf of the people and will now rescind those contracts and arrangements and only enter into agreements which are now consistent with the new principles, the new vision, the new mission of this country, which is, by the way, very simple: to respect the sovereignty of every single citizen. And no law may be passed that infringes on the sovereignty of the individual, to his life, to his liberty, and to his property rights.
Okay, so I would have one question.
Yeah, one question, one more question to ask you. You have one more question to ask, go ahead.
Oh, man, here now. Yeah, man. So I just wanted to know what are you going to do about the road and building infrastructure and crime and violence? What is your way that is going to be different, that is going to be a positive impact on the society?
Excellent. Not the number one reason for the bad road is corruption. The number one reason for crime is corruption. The number one reason for a poor education system is corruption. If you fix corruption, you stop having money being wasted or stolen through various siphon mechanisms. So what we're going to do is, first of all, reduce the size of government, eliminate all of the links that creates the corruption, turn the money back into the economy, and then make sure that we deliver on the basics: a safe Jamaica, a clean Jamaica, an orderly Jamaica, with a road network that is top of the line, with a public transit system that allows Jamaicans to move easily and quickly from one part of the country to the next, with parks and markets and gardens and landscaping that shows that we respect the Jamaican people. You know what they do in Jamaica? When so-called royals are coming here, or other people from abroad, they run and mash down some of the zinc fence and clean up the place. For those people, the UIC said that is wrong. Let's fix up the place for our people. Let our people walk on good sidewalk and drive on good road and sit in a good park. Make sure all of Jamaica looks like a tourist area so that all Jamaicans can feel proud and live a healthy life. And then, because of how nice the country is, we can have tourists right across the country and put more monies in the pockets of the ordinary people in their communities. That will bring down crime. That will drive up employment. That will make Jamaica a top of the line country that it should be.
What do you want to say before I remove you from the live? Go ahead.
Well, I just want to say, sounds like a very good speech, but it's easier said than done. But I wish you the best, and I'm holding you to your words.
Yeah, and don't just wish me, And me and you have to do this. It's not I alone. What I have done, I have created a vision, I have designed a plan, and I have created a channel, a party, a movement for you. So if you guys stay on the sideline and say, I wish you all the best, Mr. Patterson, good luck. Well, guess what? The two parties, which is much bigger than me, will crush me and crush the UIC. The only way for you and me to enjoy the Jamaica we want is if you and me join hands. Listen, this Anya, look funny. This hand. We have to join hands together. And we now have to form the bond which is going to prevent the colonial masters and their puppets from crushing this life out of Jamaica. So thank you for your support, and I look forward to working with you.
Okay, thank you.
Respect.
All right, one of them. People who just joined the live, most of you do not know what is taking place at this time on the live. If you see what I pin, UIC Jamaica is in the house. People wondering like, what is that in credit pass? Who sent credit pass? It come just like it's a next party, just like you have PMP, I have Labor Right. So this is just a different party that form in Jamaica, and actually they never out from a long time. And just that they've been getting a lots of black and lots of fights, but them fully up and running now. They register. Some people can do them thing in next election. You're not gonna see them out and running. I realize a couple people sending their requests, but I get some different stuff on my screen now. I cannot add it up from there. I don't know why. I'm actually getting these features from. Send about the request in the person that's just. I don't actually add the wrong person. Yeah, and the thing is, people not say I don't want to 100% highlight what is going on in the comment section still, but I stay naturally. Sometimes it's nice when I hear your voice and you sound like genuine, you sound like, yes, this is what you want, whether in a politics gathering or whether in a normal conversation. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Absolutely.
And actually, give them a look at breakthrough. Tell them a little bit more about you. Why? Because new member on the live now, and the live they cut.
Right.
Educate more about yourself.
Sure.
Proceed.
So I'm like any other Jamaican, to be honest. I mean, most Jamaicans were born to a single mother. Many of us were born. My father. I didn't meet my father until I was about 9 years old, and then I started spending some weekends with him and his family. Very different homes. My mother home was a small one-room house with the outdoor bathroom, and we lived, poor. And my father, on the other hand, had a nice house. 3 bedrooms, living room, dining room, nice stuff. And when I went to live with him at around 11, 12, I heard my stepmother said to him one night, and she said, Joe, this boy can't do much with him head, so we have to send him to a school to learn to do something with him hand. And when I heard that, it kind of sent off a light bulb in my mind. And I said, no, son, I have to do something about this. And they enrolled me at Spanish Town Secondary. And to be honest with you, what I'm doing now, I did at Spanish Town Secondary. I told my fellow students that, you know what, they think that we're dummies, but let's prove them wrong. And so I created the science club, I created drama club, I became head boy, I became student council president, science club president, and I led the team to school challenge quiz, and really got the mindset of the students to change. And because of that, everybody rose to a different level. And we're now operating with a high school mindset. Because back in those days, secondary schools was a dumping ground for those who are not so, academically great. So we really raised the bar. And because of that, I ended up going to Stats, where I became head boy as well. And I founded the math club there, and student council president, literary club editor. I won the award for article writing competition with the Gleaner, and then I got a full scholarship, which is good because my mother was too poor. My father said I'm not paying for no school. So if I didn't get the scholarship, my education would have stopped there. But I got a full scholarship to study engineering at UTech. And from there, I just blossomed. I became a teacher of math and physics and engineering science. Went on to becoming an engineer at the sugar company. Migrated to Canada, became a chartered accountant thereafter, working my way up the ranks. Was director of finance in the government, led a few private sector, built a few companies. I sold a couple of them before coming back to Jamaica in 2011. And then I brought my whole family back, and we just got immersed back into Jamaica and spent the first year and a half trying to find my way around. And then I started working on the UIC from 2012 and building it over the last 10 years to where we are now. It's been a labor of love, a very difficult one. One my wife warned me against, said, no, you shouldn't go into politics. But for me, it's not politics. It's about nation building. It's about rescuing Jamaica from those who have tricked us. They tricked us many times, and they tricked us in 1838 when they tell us that slavery was abolished, which isn't true. They tricked us in 1944 when they gave us the so-called right to vote, which was a trick. They gave us the right to vote, but they controlled who we could vote for. And then in 1962, they tricked us again and tell us about we're independent when we're still fully under a colonial system with even a white woman as head of state. So it's been a trick ever since. And right now, in 2022, they're about to trick us again. They want to trick us this time to move to a fake republic. Because what they do now, every time we get really fed up and we're about to explode, they trick us so that we kind of think that they've done something good, and we kind of just go back down, you understand? But this time, I am here, and I am going to ensure that if the Jamaican people are tricked, it's because they really want to be tricked this time. I'm going to make it very clear to every Jamaican what the trick is, and I'm going to give us a path outside of that where we can stop the tricking and build a solid Jamaica where every single citizen will have their rights protected and an equal opportunity to earn and to grow and to achieve their best potential in this country without going abroad.
Yeah, good night. What's up? Well, join the live, and you know that it's all about politics at this time, and this is a new party formed in Jamaica. It's not PMP, it's not Labour, it is UIC, and this is the leader for the party. And actually, you have 5 minutes to on the live, and actually your 5 minute meaning you have 5 questions to ask, and you can express asking one of your question. Go ahead.
So good. Well, for me now it's night. Mr. Patterson, first I have to congratulate you, sir, on your bravery, because transparency takes bravery. So I go by 2 names. As you can see, I'm actually on my company's account right now, which I'm the CEO of, and I am living where you're coming from.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm currently in Canada. We just like you, we came here. We started 2 businesses, and the gentleman that's hosting the live, he has been a part of a few of my projects. In terms of giving back to Jamaica, I'm also the silent financial bank of a foundation in Jamaica called AXM.
Okay.
You probably heard of us. We do a lot of charity work out there annually. Yeah, our charity feeds over 300 kids in Jamaica every year, as well as helping out the infirmaries and the boys' home and stuff like that. So I am like the financier of a lot of these projects. Turkle and I spearheaded the program called Put On Your Pot, which was geared at giving groceries back to Jamaicans during the pandemic.
Excellent.
Which came to an abrupt end because of the behavior of the people that we try to help.
Wow.
But I've been following up on the work that you've been doing. I saw you over there in my parish the other day in Manchester, and I realized that you got a warm reception.
Yes.
And it's a good thing because I think the people need a transparent leader. I think that's what's been lacking over for decades and decades. Mm-hmm. And I always tell people this story that if they know how politicians really live, because I've seen it. I've done work for them before I came here, and I've seen it. And the things you're saying now are the things that Jamaica needs to move forward. But my question though is, I won't ask many questions because I want to ask you a very important question. What is the goal for social stimulation for the people?
Yes. Well,
because that's a very important sector, social stimulation. What is the plan for that?
No, when you say social stimulation, could you elaborate? What do you mean specifically?
Okay, so we realize that there's not a lot of social development.
For example,
which helps to stimulate the economy. And in part is making reference to the gap and how marginal it is between because one time Jamaica used to have like a predominant middle class. We don't see that anymore. Mm-hmm. So what are the plans to bridge that gap between the rich and the poor?
Right. Oh, good question. I'm happy I asked you to explain because I wanted to make sure I go in the right direction. If we understand the problem, we can understand the solution. So right. Jamaica's problem is 100% a governance problem. What your government does influence everything else in the country. So for example, let's say we had a government where the people trusted the police because of the relationship based on the design of the police. You have a different behavior. So right now in Jamaica, we have a police force where the police truly believes in the force. And so they're rude, they're obnoxious, they are brutish, they have no respect for the citizens. And so when they engage the citizens, that's the animosity that comes out of it and that permeates through the society. Now, supposing you had a government that understood this and then changed the police force into a police service where the kind of training received by the police made them respectful of the citizens while protecting the rights of the citizens, as opposed to seeing themselves as some kind of enforcer from a negative standpoint. Now you bring the police into the community and you create community policing, where the police is a part of, you make sure the police lives in the community and is a part of the genesis of the community, the social interactions in the community. And then you also build this into the teaching, into the education system. You make the teachers now a part of the community. They're not just there in school anymore. They're connected with the parents. They live in the community. And you make the schools community schools where the parents and teachers and the bigger society is involved in the process. Then now on the economic level, you make sure that the economy is such that the people feel welcomed, meaning the regulations you put in place makes it easy for them to do business with each other, easy for them to export their products. They don't have to go to any gatekeepers like politicians to beg for anything because the system is so simple and transparent and easy. By the way, what I'm describing to you is what you're experiencing in Canada, at least from the economic standpoint. Now, if you bring this into Jamaica by changing the ethos of government, the philosophy of government, the behavior of government, so government becomes a protector of the rights of the people, an empowering agent of the people. Now you're going to change the behavior of the people, elevate the consciousness of the nation, improve the social interaction between citizens, and now you're going to have a healthy and wealthy environment that brings out the best in our children, our families, and our communities.
Okay. That sounds like a lucrative plan. Next year I want to touch on before I forget and before my time runs out is I realize that we have a lot of
You have 4 more questions to ask. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in terms of we've seen over the years and based on the numbers that the educational implementation methods have failed.
Yes.
You mentioned something that I've been saying on lives and for years, that I think we need to deviate from the European method of implementation where education is concerned.
Yes.
And go to, you mentioned the country, and I'm glad you did, because we think along the same lines as it relates to Singapore has the second best, if not the best right now, educational system in terms of the development and achievement.
Yes.
Are we looking to incorporate that kind of educational implementation in Jamaica, a system that has proven to work? Because we see where these politicians have adopted failing strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the country is failing, because they keep on. The leaders are followers.
Mm-hmm.
The current leaders, they're followers, and they keep following failing methods. So, is the UIC, based on what you said, is the UIC looking to implement methods that have actually proven to have results, like winning results?
Absolutely. The UIC is very committed to a new brand of education in Jamaica. First and foremost, we want to make sure Jamaica has an Afrocentric education system that gives the black child a sense of worth, a sense of appreciation for his or her blackness. Not in a sense where you become black supremacist, but in a sense where you recognize that the black man is no less than, and in many instances have proven himself to be even greater than others. So we want to make sure that self-awareness is addressed. So we have what is called the LEAP program, Learning Enrichment Advanced Program. That's what we're going to be implementing. The LEAP program switches from mere academics to, first of all, addressing 3 key things in the human development. First of all, every child must understand exactly who he or she is, body, mind, and spirit. So you must understand your body. You must not live and not understand how your body truly works. So you can now manage your own health. You can ask intelligent questions of your doctors. You can no longer be manipulated by those who have information that you don't have. We want our children to understand themselves physically, mentally, spiritually. So that's number 1 in our curriculum. Number 2, we want every child to understand how to build solid relationships, marital relationship, friend relationship, business relationship, understand how human behavior is, understand human beings, and how to relate effectively with other human beings. And thirdly, we believe every child should fully understand money, the science of money, the politics of money. They must understand the whole ethos of monetary systems so that they're not tricked by politicians ever again, like we're being tricked. No, right now the monetary system is our greatest enemy, and most people don't know that. The monetary system is stealing your wealth every single second of the day. No matter how hard you work, it's stealing your purchasing power every single day by design. This is not like some accidental thing. It's by design that the monetary system we have today will keep 90% of us poorer than we otherwise needed to be. So we're going to fix that problem with education by having all of our children understand themselves, understand how to build solid relationships, and understand money in all its facets so they can manage it properly. Secondly, the sciences must not be taught in silos. The sciences must be taught in an integrated way so you understand the relationship between physics, chemistry, biology, and even your own construct. So linking it, then linking that science with the technology and with the trades so the child understand how to convert theory into practice, how to be a creator and not just a user of technology, now they can influence the outcome globally of the tools we use, when we use them, and how we use them. And then finally, our education system must be such that when we're finished, every single child understand the system of governance. So again, they cannot be fooled by politicians because they know exactly how it works, not just how it should work, but how it's actually working and what they can do to improve that system as the years go on. That's the new system, the UIC LEAP program, which is going to frog leap Jamaica from being a backwards third world country into being a first class, super rated country in a very short period of time.
Yeah. Answer on point again. I have two questions left. So the next sector we want to touch on is a sector that really made me who I am today, which is the entertainment sector.
Yeah.
I was one of the 5 pioneers that brought technology into dancehall, namely computer. I was the one who actually made computers popular in dancehall 19 years ago.
Wow.
I did that. A little country boy from Boris in Jamaica.
Congrats.
My question though, is it that we are going to be taking some of these cultural events from the private sector so that the country can actually benefit? And in particular, I ask this question because we look at our artists who are not represented properly on the international stage, and that results in them not achieving as much monetarily as well as in other areas as they should, based on the talent that we produce in Jamaica. Now, is there a plan in place to set up a body that properly regulates and represents our artists, our athletes, the people that represent our culture and what our culture stands for from an entertainment standpoint, whether it be from track and field or whatever it is? Because we see where private sector owns Reggae Sunfest, so he benefits from it. Are we looking to own these festivals as a country so the country benefits from it? And our artists are, they have a more significant benefit from, the exploitation of the culture. So it's not exploited anymore. We own it. We benefit from it directly instead of being handed out what is, whatever somebody feels to give us.
Yeah, I'm going to shock you with my answer, but I want you to be patient with me and understand. What you are proposing will not fix the problem. It will only continue it. I tell you why. Every time you give a government an industry to so-called regulate, all they do is to try to manipulate that industry in favor of one of their friend and company, which should benefit them in the long or short term. So what you need is not a body designed by government. What you need is a system that allows a smart person like you to create a solution for entertainers and show them how to succeed. And a smart person like DJ Turtle creating a different solution from yours, but nonetheless another solution for other artists that want to use this solution. And what you have now, the great minds like yours that are out there find solutions and produce great products and put them out there. What we're suffering from today is that we've become government centric, and we're waiting for the government, and the government knows we're waiting for them, and then they now put impediments in the ways of people like you. If you try to put something together right now, you'll hear you have to go to this ministry or that ministry, talk to this politician or that politician. The UIC says no, don't talk to nobody. What we're going to do is make sure the regulation is clear as to what you can't do. You can't lie, you can't steal, you can't defraud, and so on. We make it very clear what you can't do. And then, no, you don't have to come to nobody. You simply go do the thing. And as long as you're not engaged in force or fraud What you're doing
Right.
is only going to work if you can convince artists to come to you because you have put together a good program for them that's going to work. Why we want it this way? We can't trust any one man to control any industry or any group of men. Open the industry and let us see the best ones come to the top. And then now the artists will flock to those who are doing the right thing and leave those who are not doing it the right way. That's the best approach. And if we allow that approach to work, Jamaica will excel in every industry. It's politicians who kill coffee, politician kill cocoa, politician kill banana, politician kill sugar. So the more we
Sugar.
give them to control us, is the more they destroy us. Let's contain the politician and liberate the people.
Well said. Well said. Well said. Because when you said I just wanted I just wanted to get to pick your brain a little bit on what are the plans
Yes.
for cultural development as it relates to entertainment. And you said something that is actually working, and we gotta congratulate Romish because his artists are actually
Yes.
they're achieving more than.
Yes.
So what you're saying is actually, and I ask you that so the people can actually see that what you're saying is factual. And I bring up Ramesh because he's the perfect example of what you just said.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
The final question I want to ask you is, before I ask you the questions, if you notice, I kind of elaborate a little bit because there's actual evidence. So we have another burden on the country, both financially and where results are concerned, where by the the advisory bill,
Mm-hmm.
the advisory bill is a strain on the economy,
Yes,
and the advices obviously are not working.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I have been in contact with a former advisor of a well-known politician who's a very wealthy man, but we have not seen the advice work. You said something a while ago. So is it now that we are actually going to have a system whereby advice is looked at from the people?
Yeah, man. The goal now, the goal of the UIC is to give back the economy to the people of Jamaica. I shouldn't even say give back. Give for the first time the economy to the people of Jamaica. We must trust the people. We must distrust politicians. We must make sure that the role of a politician is such that based on the way you design the system, he is forced to look out for the people because of the way it's designed. Right now, he's all he has to do is focus on A, tricking the people to get elected. So B, him can take care of himself and those who funded his campaign. Okay? And then now the following election, again, trick the people again. So he can again focus on himself and those who funded his campaign. The UIC is going to take away that campaign funding mechanism so that now he is, we have to focus on the people because if we don't focus on the people, we can't get elected. So that's a new model. The new model takes away the private sector funding from him and makes him 100% dependent on the people. And now the people, because of the empowering education we've given them, will now know what to look for. And simultaneously, the redesign of the system is going to put checks and balances on him so that him can't do what he wants to do. Him have to do what the people them want him to do.
Perfect.
That's the end of the question, Axel.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the enlightenment and the transparency. That's what we've been lacking. So now we can say that we have a leader who has a Zelensky kind of approach for the people, transparent, and me personally, from a critical thinker standpoint, this is what can move the country forward. So you definitely have my support.
Thank you.
Because it's it's on that same wavelength that as to where we would want the country to reach, where the people actually have the handle. Because we've been manipulated over the years to think that politicians are our bosses, and we are actually the politicians' boss.
Of course,
But they
yes,
have manipulated us and taken the handle away from us, and they're planning to give the people back the handle.
absolutely.
So
That's the way to
I
go.
really and truly appreciate, a son of the soil who actually has the right mindset. So enough respect.
Appreciate it, man.
Know what I
Respect,
mean?
my brother. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
man.
All right, Irie. Thank you.
And Turtle, big up yourself.
Yeah, bargain. By going forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say some stuff. Please remember sending an email request to ask him anything that you want to ask. And please remember you have 5 minutes and me have 5 questions. We have to add your the artists. Because you need to be on that program in a real life. You know that when I respect and I'm in love with myself, I'm a caring person and I'm a loving person. And as what I say, it's nothing but show off, hype or boast, right? But you know that I'm giving away credit from 1 year and just now I'll be 4 months. Like, I just take cash out of my pocket and give away every single day. And this platform, free of cost, sponsored by me, right? And I'm very grateful that I can do that just to help other Caribbean country that people who don't want can go on the internet or who can make a phone call. I'm so 100% grateful again that me can take the time out and company life. Sometimes the phone burn up, but we don't complain about it. We get a new one and start the life again. Just to help others, especially in Jamaica and people with the overseas now, send them money. You don't want cash up or want PayPal to a person who me never seen in real life, big of herself, Michigo, right? That she can receive all the cash them and she can send it to the people them. Because we help a lots of people and we don't talk about it because we don't like self-praise myself, you know what I mean? Because I did it from a willing heart. And imagine me as a normal person. We are doing 95 work. Right now, I'm the band leave. No, I'm not the band leave, I'm the band leave. Because 7 months now, boss off the island. So, no work for me. So, now I just like job on them something to be able to do right now. You see it? Yeah. So, by end of the day, they still are in survival and so forth. You understand what I mean? So, say that to say this now, like me as a normal person, we can do that. And the person now, we're in the government system, we get them big sum of money there. What are they doing for the people who don't have a shelter, the people who get cheated by man at times and get pregnant and man not take care of the kids them and them now end up of it? You know it God, because you say you grew up in Kingston and actually you grew up as a single. I think you say when you're 9 years old, if I like me, I tell you, you know, meet your father and X, Y, Z. And what else we can actually say? You know why we don't feel chicken by talking to you, and I talk to you like how I talk to you now. Yeah. Wishing you're gonna be the next Prime Minister of Jamaica. Because over here, I talk to every politician over here. Mm-hmm. And it's like, we have all them number in my phone, I can call the people right now from the phone. So this is not coming like nothing to me, this coming like me I talk to one normal person. Yeah. But guess what? In Jamaica, you can't have one normal politician number. Mm-hmm. You can't have one unless you want done for 1 year and you call them and say, yo, the boys them hungry, wishing you want the money for pocket for yourself or go buy some shot or buy some gun. I'm just putting that breakdown and those are facts. Mm-hmm. So say that to say this now. This is how more put it on the pipeline. I realize that you're an outspoken person. What do you mean when I say outspoken? Like, when the people answer the question, you just cut it short, you extend. And by the end of the day, I will have a question I ask. And it's not like you repeat over yourself. It's like if a person asks you about goat, you're going to tell them everything about goat. If you ask the person about pig, you tell them everything about pig, you're not going to mix up pig and goat. That's what make it actually like. You understand what I mean? And the next thing we would say, normally as a politician, And as a leader, you're supposed to know everything to me, or most things. Say that to say this. Remember, you're not the only one in your party. That's number one. You know what? A politician would say, especially a leader, I cannot talk on that sector. I end up have a minister that responds for that sector. So that minister, I will get them next week and they talk on that sector. So that is what I respect. Say that to say this again. So that means if you're elected, that means if the fish them is expensive, you can't tell me to go talk to the person, you can't talk to the guy, you say fish them was expensive, that you are a leader. That's what a leader is supposed to do. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
so I respect that, I'm like that. And people are sending their requests, I'm like that people, I'm not telling like. I like how you express yourself, you didn't hammer right on the nail. As we said, we talk with politician over here as a leader, he's nothing but a basher and so forth. And like them, I said, they can't talk on that the sector, they can't talk like leader. You must see, I'm a teammate people. From the born until now, and this is not, we won't say this around gimmicks. The only person would have said would have outspoken like you. I'm a man, this is a madman. And in run in politics. I mean, if you know that person, who would have said, Donald Trump, I swear, like anything you ask the man give the answer. No, really talk. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
But him kind of go shades different from your shades, though.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, for sure.
But the man is not to the lie. But the hope that everything we say, when I be the leader for Jamaica, do not live for the people. It no matter rich, poor, it really matter. Understand? Town meeting, don't stop them somewhere. Hello, good night, what's up?
Yeah, what go on, my brother?
There, you know, say, and this gentleman as well, he shared the life to me. That I want me get connect towards.
Okay.
That's what I mean. But anyway, you have 5 minutes. 5 minutes to ask question, you can elaborate before you ask the question, and then you stop and you listen. When you finish explain, then you go and get it again. You get a 5 out. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good night, sir. Good night, Mr. Joseph Patterson.
Good night, sir.
It's a pleasure to meet you on the internet.
Same here.
Because I'm one of the candidates them where they here will always put in a good word for you. Trust me, I've been on a lot of talk shows in the mornings, and I put in a lot of good reference. You know what I mean? Telling people who you are. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because really, actually, I don't come to ask questions because I do a lot of studying about you, right? And I try to make sure that when I'm having a conversation with people, I tell them a lot of stuff that I study and know about you, right? And your movement. And I met
hold on. Our movement.
Our movement.
Yes, not my movement. Our movement. Yes.
I just come to tell you that I'm happy that someone like you is there that can relate to us, because we see what the country is going through, and we need someone that actually, we can work with.
Yes.
We can move in one accord. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I met with Devon Thompson.
Yes.
Because he's living here. He's living in Canada here, and he put me on to Marvin Edgar.
Yes.
Yeah. So and then Marvin Edgar, he told me that he needed a couple of these guys contacts to do certain interview with that he wanted to. So I was the person that give him, what's his name, Remis, the guy in England, that musician guy. He asked me to get his contact, and he asked me to I gave him Ayatine contact too, because he wanted to have a what they call it, an interview with you guys. You know what I mean? So I've been here. I've been doing my best. You know what I mean? To make sure that people, the time is it, because really and truly one of the problem that I see in my community and among my people, I think we really need to educate each other. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I'm living here and I'm here looking at Jamaica like I'm on top of the world. So I'm looking at it and see the problems and see what we can do, how we can move in one accord to make sure that the future of our black brothers and our children, the man and woman of tomorrow, you know what I mean? We want to come back to Jamaica and can leave our door open, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And as I learned that Jamaica is going to be a hub, you know what I mean? It's going to be a destination for shipping. So I think that if you get the chance to be the prime minister, I think it would be a good move for Jamaica. I think, and another thing, what I want, because I talk to a lot of people in my family about you, right? In England, in America, a couple of my families are here right now too, and we need some foot soldiers.
Yes.
We need some foot soldiers. Marvin Edgar, he did propose something to me, and I think I'm looking into it, and I'm trying to get my kids onto this movement too. We need some foot soldiers, because even my sister, when I mention you to my sister in Jamaica, they don't really know you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So now, I think that really and truly, we can't just depend on you alone to bear and bring the cross by yourself.
Yeah.
We have to help you carry that cross. You understand what I'm saying? So that simply means we should play our part too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people been sitting there and they've been Marcus Garvey did this and Marcus Garvey did that, and just like the Rasters them just now that went out there and was beating the drums and stuff out there. We people who think we're educated, we need to reach out to the Raster, because we know that some of these people who think they're educated, these people are so highly educated, they're not. So if we know something and we have knowledge, we need to start sharing with these people too.
Yes.
We need to start sharing our knowledge with each other. We need to start sharing with the Raster, with the politician, because not every politician that you see sit up there is educated. Because if Mr. What's his name, Andrew Holness, know about sovereignty, he wouldn't have said what he said just the other day. To me, some of these leaders are not educated, and that's the problem I have. I think that we really need to put out. I hear a lot of people bashing some people, but I think we need to join together and come together as one, because we need help, and we should just keep on helping each other. Because my religion is, if my brother fail, I fail. That's my religion. If your sister fail.
Can I interrupt you for a second? You make a very important point when you talk about education. Most educated people in Jamaica are actually uneducated. What they have is a Eurocentric education, which has educated them to reverence and worship the white man and the white man ways that he has told them to follow. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not anti-white. I am anti-stupidity. Okay?
Right.
I'm not anti-white. It's time our people understand that the most educated among us are among the most dangerous, because they have not used their education to help the people. They have used their education to help the oppressors of the people. They have consistently enforced the economic models of the oppressor. They have enforced the academic knowledge of the oppressor. They have led the Jamaican people down the path where you see our children pushing their hands desperately through wire fences trying to touch two people that they claim are royal. Now that tells you how depressed the minds of our people are. How can you think anybody is royal above yourself? Nobody is more royal or more sovereign than you. Nobody. Whether they're as black as tar or as white as snow, nobody. You, the individual, you are sovereign. You are royal. No other human being must be placed above any of you. None of us is better than any of us in terms of our humanity. Yes, we can all have skills. I might be better than you at basketball. You might be better than me at carpentry. But at the basic level, we must be equal before the laws. And when our government take up our money and spend to bring some white people to come here to walk around and look down upon us, and have our people worship them and want to meet them and touch them? What makes them so special?
Yes.
What makes them royal? There is no royal family. All there is are criminals who have been able to enslave some people and made themselves rich. And then they create a governance model that puts them on a pedestal and tell the rest of us that we're subservient to them. I will not stand for that. We must get rid of that mindset. And when you have a leader that leads you to depend on and worship anybody but yourself, that leader is an enslaver. That leader is working against you even when he's smiling with you. So we, the Jamaican people, must understand what Andrew Holness just did. He went to England and took their Queen's Counsel title, which means he thinks that England is superior to Jamaica. Right. And they have kept the Privy Council, which means if you have a legal matter, the highest court you can go to address that is outside of Jamaica, run by foreigners. And they have maintained for 78 years a white woman sitting on a throne saying that she is the head of our state. Now I'm getting a bit heated here because it's time we rubbish those kind of things and wipe them out of the minds of our children and wipe it out of the minds of our people and make our people know that every one of us are sovereign, every one of us are royal, and none is greater than the other by virtue of just being born on this earth. All of us are equal before the law and equal before God, and none must ever be given this cherished position of divine right ahead of anybody else. We must earn our position by merit. We must worship people like a Usain Bolt who by merit achieved fastest man in the world. Shelley and Fraser, by merit, achieved fastest woman. Bob Marley, by merit, achieved greatness in the music world. A man like, say, Arabella Fonte, a Mandela, a Malcolm X, and most importantly, a Marcus Garvey, who demonstrated that even though they run him out of Jamaica, he could go to America with 350 million people and lead the black masses to rise up and have confidence in themselves to join and make a massive movement that if it weren't for the status of him not being a citizen of America and an entire department of government arrayed against him, he would have liberated black people in America, Jamaica, and in Africa. And we now must wipe out from the minds of our children this lie, this deception that make us worship two white people on a plane coming to walk on our soil as if they're better than us, and our government spending our money to prepare the place for these greatness to come to us. We are great, and let us start teaching our children to be great and to demonstrate that greatness by creating a safe Jamaica, a clean Jamaica, an orderly Jamaica, a very pretty and beautiful Jamaica that we enjoy, and then tourists come to share with us.
Yes, and that's why I'm into this movement of sharing knowledge. Give me one second before he put cross where I put cross. Okay, like how you know, give no question and a 5 questions, so you have one more explanation to make. And that's just right. So that's why I'm saying I'm in with this movement to share knowledge with each other because we are powerful people. We need to know that we're powerful. And when we see another powerful brother or another powerful sister, we should embrace them. You know what I mean? What happened just the other day, that was we get an opportunity to send a message, a very deep message, and we didn't accomplish that job. We didn't take that chance or that opportunity to send the message. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Our kids are out there making it look like these people are superior and we're inferior. And that is wrong. That is wrong because we should have sent a message when they came there just recently, showing them that we're not running up we're not sucking up to you guys, because guess what? You did what you did to us, and all know you can't even apologize to us. You can't give us any form of repatriation. You can't, even the Windrush people who went to England, they still treat them bad. while we are here buying clocks and showing off. Who own clocks? We
Exactly.
want to walk up and down the street in clocks, but you're not talking about our sisters and brothers who went to England with the Windrush movement, and they're over there doing. They still didn't even get their citizenship.
Listen. Our prime minister dropped the DRMA, the Disaster Risk Management Act that we have been suffering under. He dropped the DRMA in time for these so-called royals to come to our country so that they could walk around free of mask, free of any social distancing requirement, and could fully enjoy themselves. Him drop the DRMA for them, not for us.
Okay.
Not for us. And then they take pictures side by side, smiling, no mask. One day it was mask for all the way, except for them when they feel like going into some kind of hotel and doing whatever. But it was mask for all the way. Black people, poor people, and the police lock we up and police harass we. And then the following day, it's no mask, and they can take pictures with their royal gods and goddesses. That needs to stop. We must never, listen, we must never allow this government to get away with what it has done to the Jamaican people. We must not allow them to get away with it. This is evil.
Okay, so I'm just going to suggest one thing and ask one question, and that's it. So I'm saying, like, we as people, when it comes on to your platform and your Instagram, I think we need to start sharing, all the people here, we need to start share this man Instagram to everybody, to your family, all your relatives and friends. My question is, what are you gonna do about the people? Are you gonna get some foot soldiers that's gonna go around and go to from house to house?
Yeah, but we have them. We need more. We have 105 candidates right now. They're going around. We need more. We need to continue to grow. So I'm glad what you're saying, because you're sending the right message. If all of us, remember now, TVJ block us, CVM block us, Gleaner block us, Observer block us, Radius block us. So it's people like this young man, DJ Turtle, Wayne Lonesome, Unstoppable, Jamaican Carlos. It's bloggers and vloggers like those who are allowing Jamaicans to hear from us, because the PSOJ have locked us out of the media in Jamaica. And so now it's up to you. It's up to you. The bank for 10 years have denied us a bank account, telling us that they can't give us a bank account because we can't tell them where the money come from, where people donate. Hold on a second. How they know where the money come from, where people donate to the JLP and the PNP? How they know? They don't know, but they use it as an excuse to block us from getting a bank account, because they're all a part of a collusion to keep Jamaica oppressed and suppressed and in a form of mental and wage slavery forever and ever. We have to stop this, and you're right. We must now become the foot soldiers of the UIC. All of us must do our part.
Put out our help in hands.
Yes.
But sometimes when I send your Instagram to people, the first thing they're asking me, why is your Instagram doesn't have at least 1,000 people? And I'm telling them that the media is fighting against you. And right now I already know that the Prime Minister is gonna start stealing your ideas.
He's doing it already. He's doing it already.
I know that this guy's gonna start stealing your ideas, because I know that they're not that brilliant, and you're highly educated. The world should know that you're a very strong-minded person. You know what I mean? And you're here for us. You're here for us, and we've been sitting here waiting for somebody like you. And I want my black brothers and sisters to understand what's going on. And if you don't understand, go buy a Marcus Garvey book and read it, and you will understand. Good night.
Good night, man. Thank you. Respect.
Good night, sir.
Take it easy.
You know, like I said something else again, right? Let me check the time. Wait. What is going on here? Okay, so it's 1.5 hours.
No, man, it's 2 hours now from my end. 2 hours 9 minutes. So if you don't want me to get divorced today, you have to let me go soon.
No, you're freezing. Your phone is ringing.
1 second. Oh, my battery is now dying. That's the problem. All right. So I don't have my plug here. I left it somewhere. So we're gonna have to do a part 2 to this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you how we're gonna into the part two, right?
Yes.
And I didn't want you to answer this question. This is the last wrap up.
Yes.
Ellen Lewis, the Emperor of the Maroon, right?
Yes.
What I want to ask you, you think it is right what Miss Bagdogre do to Ellen Lewis? If you see that video?
I didn't see the video. What did you do to him?
Okay, actually, he was getting an interview from other press, other media,
Yeah.
and she actually telling the bigger end that they need to remove him. This is not his show.
Oh.
You think that is right?
Absolutely not. We must have free speech. We must allow the Jamaican people to hear from the Jamaican people. And that's one of the things the UIC has been fighting for the rights of all Jamaicans to be respected. Freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of association, freedom of choice. We cannot have a country where politicians get to shut up Jamaicans. We must have a country where if anybody needs to shut up, is the politician. The Jamaican people must be allowed to speak, they must be allowed to communicate, and the government must be there to protect the rights of the Jamaican people. Never take the rights away. Protect the rights. Don't take it away.
Okay, I appreciate that you come on this live and
Thank you.
put out your 5 cents. And what I can say, I will call you and I will talk with you and I will tell you how we're going to do the next meeting going forward.
Respect.
So everyone on the line, please remember, share, love, caring. Please remember a new party that is formed in Jamaica, UIC.
Yes.
You understand, people? So we need to check it out, follow the movement. If you don't want to know more about it, before the people talk about it, research about it. Nothing is wrong with that.
Yes.
So pick up everyone on the line, peace and unity. You know, it's a credit boss who send credit fast, raise cash, give back to the community at times. Peace out.
Peace out. Big up everyone. UICJamaica.com. Take care. Respect.
Big up all article fans and big up all.
Okay, my friends. Just finished the live with DJ Turtle, and now I'm completely parched. Need to get something to drink and go see where my wife is. I have to make sure that I keep her as happy as I try to keep all of you. As we I have to keep her more happy than all of you. But thank you for your support again tonight. It was really appreciated. And we have a lot of work to do. I like the suggestion of the last gentleman, which is for all of us to become foot soldier. Believe me, we can't make them win again. We cannot afford to let the PNP and the GLP win again. We can't afford it. I know they're working hard. The Prime Minister is copying both of them. PNP, and they're copying our 10-point plan. They're taking away the words and trying to trick the people again to say they're going to do this. But listen, if they couldn't have done all the things in this 10-point plan, if they could not have done this in 78 years, why should we trust them now? If they couldn't create the Jamaica I am talking about in over 78 years, why should we trust them now to tell us that they're going to do it? If they couldn't have a proper housing policy for 78 years, why should we trust Andrew now when he tells us he has a great housing policy? If he couldn't fix the economy, if they, including him, couldn't fix the economy in 78 years, why should we trust them now when they borrow the phrases and ideas from the UIC's policy to say they're going to do it? If they couldn't fix education in 78 years, why should we trust them now that they're going to fix education? If they couldn't fix the healthcare system in 78 years, why should we trust them now that they're going to fix the system? It's a lie, it's a deception, it's a trick, and all they want is 5 more years of our time to trick us again. Don't allow them to crush the UIC. You know we can't survive without you. If you don't donate, if you don't volunteer, if you don't join the UIC and help us to spread the message, you know they're going to crush us. The UIC is your party. The UIC is the People's Party. The UIC is the Education Party. We're here for you. You have to be here for us. You have to stand up for yourself and join hand with us so we can stand up for you and for all Jamaicans together. Don't let them trick you. If they couldn't do all they're saying they're going to do now, Now they're ready to do a republic. Why? Because the UIC is coming and we're pressuring and the people are hearing. So now they want to create a republic. But it's going to be a fake republic. It won't be a true republic. The system will be a fake system with just the name change, but the substance of the system will remain the same. It will continue to be corrupt. It will continue to steal. If they say that they're going to do a new form of housing project like they've done with the NHT, the NHT was a brilliant idea that only served to help them to steal from the Jamaican people. So no matter what they come with, they'll always steal your money, steal your time, steal your purchasing power, and steal your children's future. We must not allow the JLP and the PNP to win again. Please, I'm begging you, let us do what we must do and let us stand up for justice, for truth, for peace, and most importantly, let us secure our liberty. So until next time, choose liberty. Take care. Until we talk again. All the best.